VXDash is the ability to bring in whatever data that we are collecting and build an operational view that works for you. We've got some very, very good point solutions for you. You want to know who's making phone calls? VXTracker, all day long. You want to know what's happening with a router or firewall, a phone system? VXPulse, all day long. Provide you the tools. We want you to be able to white label them, take them to your customers. From your customer's perspective, VXSuite doesn't exist if you choose to do that. And VXDash will be the same way. We also feel like this is another place for you to really differentiate your offering. We also think that this is an opportunity to potentially for you to create some new revenue streams. So again, if you're providing VXDash to your end customers and they see value there, you should be able to make money on that. So a business owner might say, well, I want to save all these travel expenses by having the ability to do these video calls. So let's build a dashboard that shows that end user what's actually happening with the system. So top left-hand side is my top IM users. So I'm getting really good IM usage, right? Middle, the audio users, how many people are making phone calls. Notice on the right-hand side, it's really hard to see that pie chart for video users. It's because there isn't any. If they're grouped inside the organization, this is a really good view, right? Why did I spend all this money if you're not going to use the video calls the way that we wanted to for us to capture that ROI? There you've also got a couple of tables where we're talking about, well, it's easier to see information that's displayed than information that's not displayed. So also show me the users that had no audio usage. So who are the ones that aren't using the phone system at all? Okay? Within a single view. Now, the source of this information is a link system. Okay? It's a linked database, and it's being monitored by VXPulse. So VXPulse is capturing that information, and then we're able to display the information in VXDash. Let's look at call volume. So this is information now that's coming out of VXTracker. Okay? VXTracker probably sits in the company's network, right? I don't have any direct access to it. Because I have VXTracker and I have VXPulse, I can send that data up to VXDash. So we can look at things like trunk utilization. And maybe I'm only interested in a single trunk, so the same kind of concept here. Maybe I'm really interested in this calls by trunk members. But for those of you in the room who know how those trunks work, I can't do it and maximize it. You know that what I'm really curious about, typically, are what's happening when I get to the 7th, the 8th trunk member in that group, right? The middle trunk member. When I'm hitting that trunk member, it means that everything's being utilized. So I can kind of come in here and turn some things off for me to determine, okay, at what point in time did I actually end up needing that third member for my outbound calls or for my inbound calls? Pretty easy for me to see this, right? Anywhere there's that green bar, then that's what I'm able to see. VXDash is not so you get this stream, right? VXDash is so that you can build whatever stream makes sense for you and your customers. So if they wanted to look at trunk member utilization in a different way, like if we turn everything back on, okay? So by hour of day, what's happening with my call volume? Really interested in what happened here during the morning, so let's zoom in on that. Get some of those type of capabilities. Calls by extension top 10, another quick, easy view for me to take a look at. Really nice eye candy, right? Make that little thing slide out. Pretty cool. So now that I know what's happening, let's look about a little detail into the quality that we're experiencing. So it's one thing for me to look at average moss, right? So if my average moss is 4.1, that's a valuable piece of information, but it's lacking. What it's lacking is, tell me what the lowest moss score was during a particular point in time. Tell me what the highest moss score was at the same time window, if you will. All right, so if I know I've got quality problems, what's the first thing I'm probably going to look at? I'm probably going to look at network performance. When I'm looking at network performance, one of the key problems can be an out of bandwidth. So here, VXPulse, I'm pulling bandwidth information from a series of routers. And here's if I'm the guy that's in charge of routers, this is a pretty nice dashboard for me, right? I can see the relative in and outs. I've also got a nice table with sorting by maxes. I can really quickly identify what is the problem point by bringing up this screen. More and more, however, we're not solely looking at networks. We also need to pay attention to what's happening with the servers in our environment. The ability to build another diagnostics view where I have the ability to do some resource filtering. and can look at things like overall CPU consumption. What's my low, what's my high? I know that I've got a server that's underutilized, I know I've got a server that's overutilized. Let's dive in and figure out what's going on here. The exciting thing to me about VXDash is that I can provide an analytical tool to my end users, and then they can slice that data, look at it however they want, filter it, zoom in, do whatever they want to with it, and I don't have to build them 100 different views of that information.